Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. So, I was urged really strongly by the Galactic Federation of Light to share this message right now, which is what many of us are currently experiencing energetically as we move towards June 20th, the summer solstice, and June 21st, the solar eclipse. The fire is getting turned on underneath all of us, internally and externally. And there are two main themes that many of us are experiencing right now and that they want us to bring awareness to. So really starting to observe that on a collective level, this is what is occurring for us. This is an opportunity. I always say this when there's energetic portals, when there are intense sort of shifts that are occurring for us energetically, it's always an opportunity. And the more we are aware of it, the easier it is to open to these opportunities. So here are the two themes. One, letting go of attachments. And two, settling into the unknown or the new. So these are two themes that you may see running in your now moments really intensely right now. And they may have been sort of stirred up the last month, 2 months, 3 months, preparing us to really pay attention to and surrender into letting go of attachments and settling into this unknown space. So what are attachments? First of all, we're in a third dimensional space. We're in a third dimensional consciousness, third dimensional field. We have many things that we are attached to. Our cars, our homes, our relationships, the way we look, the clothes we wear, getting our hair done, our nails done, activities that we do, working out. I mean, you name it, right? We're attached. Relationships we're attached to. There are many things that we are attached to, and many of those attachments are going to the wayside right now. We have got to let go of a lot of the attachments that we have. Why? One, we're shifting into higher states of consciousness where attachments don't exist. But two, the attachments that we have in our life keep us separated from who we are. So it's a distraction. It's this false sense of I'm okay, I'm loved, I'm good enough, I'm safe. They're distractions, which is okay. Again, there's nothing wrong with these attachments and these distractions until it's time to start shifting into higher frequencies and the attachments are now getting in the way. For me personally, hot yoga, doing yoga all the time, my diet, my body, all of these things around how my body looks, I've been attached to these ideas, attached to these behaviors, attached to yoga, hot yoga, all of this stuff, right? For a long time. And my guides have been preparing me to let go of these attachments. Doesn't mean that I don't do hot yoga. It doesn't mean that I don't do yoga. It doesn't mean that I don't take care of my body. I'm just not attached to it in the same way. I'm letting it go, right? So, what are the attachments in your life that are starting to fall to the wayside? And understand that the reason this is happening is not so that you suffer or that you're in pain or sadness or depression or despair, but quite the opposite. It's so that you are unchained and become more free. And what do they mean when they say that? I want you to imagine all of these different attachments that you have to things, even your job, right? Our careers, money, you name it. There are certain attachments that I want you to visualize like this energetic cord from you to the attachment. Like for me, it was hot yoga and the way my body looked and how I, made sure that my body stayed a certain way and was controlling my body and all these things, right? So here's this energetic cord to that attachment. And it's intense. It takes your energy. Right? You can have an attachment to your house, to your cars that you drive. They're super important. You've got to have good cars, right? Relationships, you've got to be in a relationship, or if you are, it's got to be this. An attachment takes your energy away from you. An attachment takes the way you're viewing you and it's putting it out externally, right? So all these attachments pull you out of yourself. And as soon as you release the attachment, what happens? A bungee cord, and you go right back into you. Wait a second, I didn't need that attachment to understand who I am as a being of light. I didn't need that attachment to tell me that I'm loved, that I'm good enough, that I'm okay, right? We are detaching. We are bringing ourselves back into us. And for many of us, these attachments look very different, right? But I guarantee you, if you look at the past couple of months, there are large attachments you've had in your life that are dissolving. By your own choice or not by your own choice, but they're dissolving. They are breaking apart. The chain is breaking. The energetic cord is breaking, and you're finding yourself free. And this can be a little bit uncomfortable because you've had these attachments for a very long time. You're used to the attachments, but the attachments don't serve you. They don't serve you anymore. We want to be aware of the attachments we're releasing. And the second thing is, as you are releasing all of these attachments right now, you're going to be settling into this unknown space of, well, wait a second, what then? How do I know I'm loved? How do I know I'm safe? How do I know I'm deserving? How do I know I'm worthy? Right? Because a lot of the attachments make us feel safe, loved, worthy, seen, heard. We feel good, right? From these external attachments. So what happens is we have to now learn how to find all of that within our beingness, within our divine being, our light, our consciousness, our soul, our spirit. We are filled up completely inside. We literally don't need any external attachments the more we find ourselves inside. But that's hard, especially in a third dimensional consciousness. It's extremely hard to not want or have attachments. And that's not this message. They're not saying stop your attachments, let go of all attachments, because that is almost impossible. The Galactic Federation of Light, they're very realistic in terms of understanding the third dimensional world that we stand in. They're not going to shoot rainbows and unicorns to us and say, oh, just love light and everything's great, and just pretend that you don't have any attachments even though deep down you do. That's not how they are. They're very realistic in terms of, listen, you're a human. Meaning you are in a human form. You're in a third dimensional consciousness. Part of that consciousness is attachments. Let it be. But what attachments are you releasing? And what does it feel like when you settle into this unknown space? Because this is when you start to create new realities, new relationships that you don't need. You're not attached to the relationship. A career that you don't need. You're not attached to the career. The career doesn't make you. The career doesn't give you happiness or joy or any of that. You give yourself that. The career is just an additional experience, right? The relationship is an added bonus, but it's not providing you with love that you can't fill up for yourself. So if you're watching relationships dissolve, careers dissolve, your house dissolve, your car dissolve, whatever it is dissolving, it's a beautiful gift, because you are preparing yourself to not only find more of that in here, but you're preparing yourself to be able to bring in new experiences, new realities that you are not needing. You don't need it. It's an added bonus. That way, you're not attached to it, pulling yourself out of you. You're in you, you're feeling you, you're honoring you, you're loving the hell out of you. And then you're like, oh, look at how cool this job is that I'm having right now. Or, oh my God, look at how amazing that house is that I live in right now, right? Or, oh my God, look at this beautiful relationship I'm in. But it's not your end all be all. It doesn't dictate you. It's not you. And so a lot of us right now are in this unsettled new space where it's like, holy shit, I've just let go of everything that defined me, everything that gave me joy and love and peace and comfort. And now I got to open up to, I don't know what really. And this is what they want to remind you. What you're opening yourself up to is a brand new, free, expanded reality. It's like a blank canvas. And it's baby steps, right? So there are attachments that you're letting go of and attachments that you're still going to have. And that's okay. You don't want to beat yourself up like, oh my God, I still have all these attachments. Oh my God, I'm not ascending. Yes, you are. We already know that. We're all ascending no matter what. But the energetic frequencies that we're experiencing right now is letting go of the attachments and stepping into this unsettled new space. And so you've got this canvas and there's pieces of it that are new. There's pieces of it that still hold attachments that you're still holding, which is okay. But the new pieces is what you want to pay attention to. What did you release? What attachments are you currently or have you let go of? Pay attention to those attachments. Really say, oh my God, this is what was just released. This is what I'm letting go of. These are the attachments. Now, when you pay attention to them, then say to yourself, okay, why was I attached to those? What did those attachments give me? How did those attachments make me feel? Okay, so first, you want to pay attention to what the attachments were. Second, you want to ask yourself, what did those attachments give me? Or what are those attachments giving me? Is it making me feel loved? Is it making me feel seen? Is it making me feel safe? Is it making me feel in control? Because those are the things that you want to look inward for now. You want to find that inside. And how do you do that? You move into your body. How do you do that? You find your breath. How do you do that? You sit quietly. You just take moments throughout your day where you're busy running around and you sit with yourself as often as you can. And even if you're super busy, can you also multitask and be with you? How often in your day can you be with you? So what's the attachment? What was the attachments making you feel? What was it giving you? What were the limiting beliefs or the beliefs? What were the thoughts? What were the behaviors? What were the emotions? What was happening with that attachment? Because it was giving you something. And now you got to find that inside. So step 3 is you find your breath and you give yourself solitude, quiet, anything. And if you don't have that, you multitask and you find yourself in you with your breath while you're doing everything else you're doing. You come back in. Where is my lens? Is it out or is it in? And the more you can do that, the more you can start to create anew without a need to fulfill those things that the attachment was providing you. So for instance, my hot yoga, my need to do yoga all the time, I need to do hot yoga all the time because it keeps my body a certain way, right? And it makes me feel like I've got everything in control and blah, 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 right? What was that hot yoga doing? It was making me feel in control. It was making me feel, it was providing me an outlet where I didn't have to necessarily go in even deeper and feel certain things that may come up. It was making me believe that if I had this body, then I am lovable, right? Here's all the things that this attachment to hot yoga was providing me. And there's more. And so as this attachment starts to dissolve, guess what happens? I don't have the hot yoga to provide for me that stuff. That love, that safety, that control, right? So what do? I move inward and I come back home. Oh, I'm actually okay here, aren't I, Lori? Yeah, you're okay. Oh, okay. And this is with many attachments. This is not just with, superficial attachments. This is with all attachments eventually. All attachments. But for now, we're just going to stick with the ones that are popping up for you. And then once I come inside, it's like, oh, okay. I get it. It's learning how to come back home to you. What attachments are taking you away from your home? What attachments are taking you away from you? And then can you settle into the unknown of what's coming? There's more expansion and there's more freedom when you let go of the attachments. There's more love. There's more compassion for yourself. There's more surrendering. There's more present moment. There's more acceptance of all that is. And then from that place, you begin to create anew from a more expanded version of you. A version that doesn't need what you're intending and creating, but it's choosing to experience it instead. Do you understand? There's a difference. So when we try to create relationships, or we try to create jobs, or we try to create homes in order for it to give us something, like we need something from it, then you're just perpetuating that third dimensional cycle, which is okay. You're going to have an attachment to it. It's okay. Just be aware of that, what you're doing, right? That's okay. If you see it as an experience, and just the experience, oh my God, I'm going to experience this new job. Not this job's going to give me peace and joy. And I mean, jobs give us joy, but we don't need the job to provide us with joy. You understand? We are joy. So the job is a bonus experience that's going to provide us with these things. The relationship is a bonus thing. The new house is a bonus. It's like, oh my God, I'm fulfilled. I'm okay. But it's going to be so fun to have this new place that I'm going to run around in, and it's going to be in this beautiful energy, right? It's a different way of creating the new, creating your new reality. If you continue to create from the attachment stage, then you're going to perpetuate being attached. So we want to be aware of how we are stepping into the new, being sort of like, I don't know how this is going to look. I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing this new. Okay, I'm doing this a new way, meaning, right? So it's going to feel different when you start creating from this space. When you start intending from this place, it's going to feel a little bit different, because it's not a needy you. You're not needing it. You're excited for what may be. You're excited for what may come. And then you're not trying to control it so much. Oh my God, the relationship has to be like this, 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 this. Oh my God, the job has to be like this, 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 this. We learn to kind of manifest and create with like really specific bullet points. But think about when you do that, the energy behind that. It's a lot of control, right? It's okay. Just look at it. It's a lot of control. And it's a lot of like, if it's not this, then I'm not going to be satisfied. If it's not this, then I'm not going to be happy. If it's not this, then I'm not going to get what I need from it. Instead of, I'm just going to open up. I know the frequency and energy of what I'm intending and creating, but I'm going to settle into this unknowingness, right? This feeling of like, I just let go of this attachment that created these things that I'm now moving inward to fulfill. And now when I step back out, I'm going to intend to have an experience where it's more of an energetic experience as opposed to bullet points. It's got to be this, 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 this. What's the energy of it? What's the energy of it? Not how is it going to fulfill me? So they gave me 5 tips, you guys, to assist us as we are navigating the next 5 days, okay, in terms of letting go of attachments and settling into this unknown space of like, oh my God, what's next? If I let go of relationship, if I let go of job, if I let go of home, if I let go of this, if I let go of that, my body, whatever it is, what's next? So the first thing is observe the lens you are using as you experience your nows. So as you continue to move through your now moments, right now, going forward to June 21st, and this can be any now moment. If you're watching this 6 months later, it's the same, okay? What lens are you using? Because if you're using the egoic lens, you're going to be attached to what's happening. You're going to make it wrong. You're gonna allow the fears to control you, to stop you, to say that you're not deserving of what's coming, that you can't live without these things, whatever it is. What is that egoic lens saying to you? Be aware of it. Observe it. Observe the higher self lens. The higher self lens is going to say, girl, boy, man, woman, whatever, in between, whatever you are, all of you, let it go. Let yourself be in this. Let yourself flow through this. Let it go. Meaning just move with what's unraveling. That's the higher self lens. You're safe. You're okay. Come back in. Come back home. This is all unraveling for your highest good, right? That's the lens of the higher self. So what lens are you using to navigate your nows? Observe it. Observe the lens. Number 2, trust. Trust everything that's unraveling for you. Trust it. There's no mistakes. Settle into that frequency as often as you can. Okay, there's no mistakes. There's no mistakes. There's no mistakes. I have to trust this. I have to trust this. This is always moving me to the next highest aspect of me, the next highest version of me. Trust. Number 3, breathe over and over and over. Where is your breath? Find your breath and you'll come home. You see, the attachments take us out of our breath. They take us out of our bodies a lot of the time, and they detach us. So we want to bring ourselves back in to the body, to our sovereignty, to our light, to our truth, to our love with our breath. We'll feel safe. We'll feel home. I'm back home. Because as we let go of these attachments, it's going to be nerve-wracking. It's going to be a little scary, especially if you start to look for the next attachment, which is what we do. That's the patterns that we find ourselves in. The patterns are, I let go of this attachment, now I need to go find another attachment that gives me the same thing that other attachment did, which is what we're breaking, which is why they said settle into the unknown. The unknown is I'm no longer searching for an attachment that's going to give me what that last attachment gave me. I'm letting go of the attachment completely, coming home to my breath. Number 4, ask questions to your team. Meaning your guides, the angels, the ascended masters, the star families, the galactic beings. Ask out loud, ask to yourself, start to engage. And when you ask, they answer, and they answer in many different ways. They answer by communicating with it through a voice in your head, through sounds, through songs, through signs, through other people, through your intuitive knowingness. So trust what you hear, what you see, what you feel, what you receive throughout your nows, the signs, any of it, and all of it. Trust it. Because you have 2 choices. You either trust it or you don't. So make the choice. It's your choice. And whatever you choose is your truth and it's your reality. You might as well choose to trust what you're receiving. Even when you don't believe that you're actually receiving it, there's an intuitive gut knowingness that that's a sign, that that's them, that voice in your head is the answer. And step 5 in all of this right now is remember who you are. Remember who you are. You are a higher consciousness in physical form. You're only here for a short time. You're navigating this high consciousness in physicality in a dense 3rd-dimensional physical body right now. And you are learning how to remember, throw out the amnesia, pull back the glasses, the curtain, and start to reintegrate back into you, that high consciousness. All of it. While you still have the ego, while you still have higher self, there is a higher consciousness that is you inside physical form. And the more you can remember that, the more you will relax in all of this. The more you will trust, the more you will receive, the more you will flow. So again, the 5 steps. Step 1, observe the lens you are using as you experience and navigate every now. Is it higher self? Is it the ego? Is it even the higher consciousness that you are? 2, trust everything that's unraveling for you. Trust it all. Throw your hands in the air like you're going down a roller coaster ride and saying, I'm in, let's go. Whatever it is, and allow yourself to have all the human emotions that unravel with that experience, with all the experiences. Step 3, breathe. Where's your breath? Find your breath. You'll find your light. You'll find your sovereignty. You'll find your truth. You'll come back home to you. Step 4, ask questions over and over and over. and then trust and choose to believe what you feel, hear, see, receive, everything, externally and internally. And then step 5, remember who you are. Remember who you are, over and over and over and over. So in this next 6 days, 5 days, you guys, it's all about letting go of the attachments and settling into this unknown space where you are creating new realities, new versions of you, new relationships, new jobs, new careers, new homes, new whatever it is. And whatever it is that you're creating, there's no attachment to it. So it's not that we're letting go of having a house, letting go of having a car, letting go of having a job or a relationship. Quite the opposite. You are staying in a third dimensional field, but you are staying in it as a higher dimensional being, in a higher frequency. You're staying in this dimension, but you're experiencing yourself in higher frequencies, which means that you're creating experiences that you're not attached to. You're not attached to it. It doesn't make you who you are. It doesn't give you love, you have love. It doesn't bring you joy, you have joy. If it gives you love and provides you joy, that's an addition. It's not your source of love. It's not your source of joy. It's not your source of peace. It's not your source of happiness. It's not your source of expansion. It gives it to you, great. But it's not the source of it. You are the source of all of that. You are the source of everything. It starts with you. And that's what we're learning. And when you move into higher states of consciousness, that is where we come back to. We start here. The well is right in here. And so we are unconsciously or consciously now letting go of many attachments. Be courageous, stay courageous, keep going. There's nothing wrong with what is being released from your life. Recognize what are the emotions. Remember, here are the 3 steps in terms of attachment. What is the attachment that's being released? What did that attachment give you? What did it provide for you? And then when you look forward into the next now, can you use those things that the attachments gave you, move them and find them within, so that as you look at the next now, you are not searching for those things that are now found within you. I'm going to say that again. Recognize what the attachments have been giving you. Any attachment that's being released right now. What is it? State it. Put it on a list. Write it down. Those are the things that you are searching for inside now. So that when you turn to the next now, shifting into these higher frequencies, creating a new now, a new reality, a new experience, you are not searching any longer for those things that attachment gave you, because you're now finding it right here. And so you're creating a new experience just to have the experience. It's a frequency. What's the frequency? Not the bullet point list. That's going to create suffering and attachment. What's the frequency of the relationship? What's the frequency of the job? The frequency mean, what does it feel like in that job? What does it feel like in that home? What does it feel like in that car? What does it feel like in that relationship? What does it feel like doing that yoga exercise now? What's the feeling of it? Not what's it going to give you? Here's all the bullet points. This is what I want from everything. That's going to create attachment. And we're learning. We're learning how to do this. This is how we learn how to be in higher states of consciousness. It's just practice. Coming back home. I love you. Be gentle with yourselves, you guys, the next 5 days. Be very, very gentle. And sometimes we are on training wheels and it takes a while for us to learn and remember and practice all this, and that's okay. But the message here that they wanted me to remind you is trust what is being released. Trust the attachments that are dissolving. Trust it. It's for your highest good. and dive deep into what those attachments were providing you and go inward and give that to you. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Be gentle with yourselves.